Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Mike. I'm joined by AJ from AJMMABetting. This is the actual first episode of the Lambo Plays Podcast. There's going to be one rule. We have to follow this rule. There's no dodging it. And the one golden rule here is we're going to go over every fight on this card, and the minimum play that we can pick has to be a plus 300 or better. So we're giving you long shots. We're going to try to, get some of these winners with these long shots. And it's about having fun. For me, having some drinks. And, we're just going to, at the end, we'll also throw in a Lambo parlay for everybody. So, let me give it out to AJ and introduce yourself, AJ, and talk about whatever you want, brother.
Yeah, happy to be here. We've been following each other for a bit now. Been on, some different shows and whatnot, but this is the first time we're doing a show together. So yeah, I like the concept of this show, man. I mean, just like these fun props that people just want to sprinkle some action in. People love the props. They also love their parlays too. We'll get to that later on. But it's just a fun little unique show where we're not necessarily giving out our bets that we tipped, quote unquote, but just some fun action, some props that we feel are a little bit too wide based on, the number. We're not necessarily expecting them to come through at 100% hit rate or anything like that. But we do think that they're a little bit wide based on the betting odds. And it's just a fun little concept that I hope everybody enjoys.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want anybody in chat to think hey, we're giving these plays they're going to hit 50% or 30% or whatever. It's probably going to be on the lower end. But what we are trying to find is that value number, that number that's kind of off in the actual, may it be a prop or whatever it is. So that's what we're looking for here. And I think we're going to probably give you some good ones. Let me go over to chat a little, see who's in there. Mushroom, Not Crap MMA, my new. Oh, man, thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Like and subscribe, please, if you guys don't mind. Me and AJ are going to be a stable on the show every week. What we will do is probably bring in some guests, here and there. So, Tim, what's up, brother? What's up? Let's go. Daz. Oh, there he is. Daz, bro. This guy's the man. Philip has the drinks, man. Cheers, bro. Cheers. Mushroom again. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, man. AJ, you want to start it off? Ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man. This first fight of the night, it's just everything violence in this fight is just intriguing, but at the same time, with the concept of the show, there's really nothing that is plus 300 or better that I'm all too interested in. We got Garcia here at plus 300 for decision. We got Ontiveros plus 550 by decision, which is nice in a vacuum if you think the fight will go the distance. However, Ontiveros has been finished in all of his losses. So, and I don't think Garcia is the most defensively sound guy either. That's in the stats, 36% striking defense. The biggest prop to me in terms of just intrigue on the fight has to by default be Ontiveros wins inside the distance. When I see the fight playing out, I think somebody just hits the other with something big, and it probably hurts somebody. I have more faith that Garcia gets the finish. However, at plus 450, Ontiveros wins inside the distance. That's a bit intriguing to me. He's a wild, unorthodox guy. And like we talked about, Garcia is used to being a longer ranger guy than his opponent. It's interesting to see how a guy that typically relies on his main range management deals with a longer guy. Potentially he could get hurt. That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, by default, I would have to take Ontiveros inside the distance. That'd be the only way I would play it.
I don't mind it. I don't mind that. Ontiveros does throw some nice kicks. He's more of a karate style kind of guy, kind of using his range with his kicks. But the guy, man, he is I said this yesterday. I watched an interview with him. Something's off with this guy. I hope it's not CTE. I hope it's not something like that. But when you hear him reacting to questions and the way he talks really slow, I don't know what it is. It doesn't look good. I've seen tape on this guy. He's gotten beaten up a lot. One thing I don't like to say this about fighters because, it's a tough sport. But, he just give me that quitter vibes. He's quit 3 or 4 times in these losses where he just kind of gives up, signals to the referee I'm done. Garcia impressed me at weigh-ins at face-offs, much bigger than I thought he would be. Ontiveros was not that much bigger at face-offs. So which gave me a little bit more confidence in my play. Obviously, I would rather go with a first round, Garcia win, but that's not plus 300 or better, so I can't do it on this show. So what I was thinking is the fact that because Ontiveros is long, because Ontiveros uses a lot of his kicks, maybe he can survive that first round because Garcia is going to bring the pressure. And so what I did go with is Garcia round 2 KO plus 500. The number is not as good as I wanted it to be, but I think he's going to bring the pressure. I think eventually he breaks Ontiveros, which is why I like that play there.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think, you were saying it out loud. It wasn't like brought to my attention right away, but I think that's, I think honestly, like after you saying that and me it being brought to light, that would be my preferred option just because I feel, again, Garcia's not a good fighter, but I feel more confident in him winning than Ontiveros. So I'd rather bet violence on his side than the Ontiveros side, if that makes sense.
And the other thing I will give him, AJ, is the fact that Garcia has a granite chin, dude. The guy, he's really, really tough. Outside of probably like a crazy head kick, I don't see like Ontiveros really hurting this guy with his hands. So I think it's either a head kick or something like that, which hey, is possible, like because we know he throws a lot of kicks. He throws that axe kick. He loves throwing it. I don't know why, but I don't mind your actual play, but I just think because Garcia is so durable, because it's so aggressive, the second round KO I think is pretty viable here. I mean, if Ontiveros was to survive that first round, and honestly, that's a big if to me. But yeah, we can move on. Fight number 2, Lupita Godinez versus the late replacement Silvana Gomez Juarez. I can go with my play on this one. I had a hard time with this one at plus 300, trying to find something. But a play that I actually don't mind at all, and when you go back and look at Lupita Godinez, yeah, she doesn't have any KOs in her professional career. I think she has one KO, with a doctor stoppage, including with her amateur career. But when you go back and look at her last fight versus Penne, like she throws hard. She busted up Penne. She throws really hard in combination. I think the girl, because she moved up for her last fight, at 115, she just looks really strong there. I mean, she was tossing Penne around like nothing in that last fight. And I really believe like she does have power in her shots. Juarez does get a hit a lot on tape when I taped her. Ariana Lipsky for one hit her a lot. But on the Juarez side, she does have power herself because I think she hurt Lipsky pretty bad in that fight that I taped. But my play is Godinez KO plus 650. She throws hands. She brings the pressure. Late notice replacement. All that is in her favor. I think she might be able to, stop Juarez here just with pressure, volume, and some power.
Yeah, I would rather go with Godinez by TKO KO as well. She doesn't have any professional wins by knockout, but there's maybe just some credence that she just kind of blows Juarez out of the water. Don't necessarily think it's the most likely outcome, but and one thing that stuck out to me with Juarez was I think she looked a bit regressed, like comparing her fight with Lipsky to, say, her recent ones. She just didn't look as sharp, in my opinion. She is tough, so that's probably why I think it goes the distance. But if you're asking me to play one thing in this fight for a long shot, plus 300 better, I'd probably say Godinez by knockout as well.
I will also say, like Juarez being 36 years old, that kind of tells you what they think of her, like, ability and stuff, bringing her up at 36, late notice replacement. So I'm not too high on her skills, but, she does throw a lot of submissions when she's on the ground. I'll say that, like she goes for it. So, I just like Godinez. I like how strong she is. I like that she throws in combinations. I like her power, even though it hasn't translated to KOs. But I think it will be coming, whether it's in this spot or not. The KO will be coming for her. Let me go over to chat a couple more guys. Pillow Fist Brits. Hey guys, looking forward to breakdown. Thank you, brother. What's up, Monk? What's up, bro? Thanks for being here. We can move on to fight number 3. There's only 9 fights, by the way. One dropped out. Fight number 3, which is one of the fights I'm most looking forward to. It's Charles Rosa going up against Damon Jackson. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, this one's I'm conflicted here. I either want to go with Rosa by decision at plus 300, or I want to go with Jackson by submission at plus 350. Conflicted again because I think that Jackson probably wins based on just the wrestling factor, but and the scrambling factor that is. But at the same time, Charles Rosa, Boston strong, like he's very, very tough. Just watching him put in bad spots against Bryce Mitchell and Derek Minner, he could survive some danger. And I do think that Jackson is dangerous. But is he as dangerous as those guys? Maybe, maybe not. But I would lean here Rosa by decision. I could see him eking out some rounds here with just some volume kicks at distance. Maybe he lands some takedowns of his own. I don't think Jackson has great takedown defense himself. But that would be how I would play. I think the reputation of Jackson, well, I mean, just look at, the numbers. I mean, most of the time he's not going the distance, but I would be pretty surprised if a finish happened here based on the toughness of both guys. And I'm not sold on Jackson's durability, but Rosa's not a big puncher. So ultimately I'm going to go with Rosa by decision as my long shot play at plus 300. Again, in a fight that probably goes the distance, I could see Rosa making it close theoretically, but that would be how I'd play it.
I pretty much echo a lot of the stuff you said about the actual fight. Like both guys, I actually do believe that Jackson's durable. I mean, you go back and look at that last fight, the fight against Topuria. My God. I mean, he ate a lot of huge punches before succumbing to him. But like Topuria is, a way bigger puncher than what we have here in Rosa, right? Rosa's more of a pitter patter, switching stances, volume kicks. He's more of a volume switch stance, not many really, really hard shots coming from him. And then on the Jackson end, like you said, like a guy's he's a college wrestler. He has a wrestling background. He does throw some heat. He does have submission skills, but again, Rosa's really strong. I mean, really durable. The guy, I highly doubt Damon Jackson's going to submit him. Guys, I think he's a better actual submission grappler than Damon Jackson is. I personally have a bet on Damon Jackson by decision at plus 155. That is my tracked bet. But if I'm going to give you a prop, and I think, Damon Jackson's going to use some takedown some takedowns. I think he's going to take the fight to the ground. And I do think Rosa does have a chance to grab that submission at plus 750. I just believe it's a tad bit wide for him. I know the guy likes to sit on his back a lot, play off his back, but he's had a lot of those fights where he sat on his back. He had a lot of close submissions also, like arm bars, triangles. So I think he's going to have an opportunity. And if you're going to look at a prop like that at plus 750 for a guy that's a BJJ black belt, it's pretty versed on the ground. Even though he gets controlled very often by guys like, for instance, Derek Minner, who's not really a controlled grappler that controlled him for, 12 minutes of that fight, which is very heavily why I went with Damon Jackson by decision, because I think he could just like grind him out and Rosa's going to be okay with sleeping on his back, So, yeah, I mean, my actual play for this show is Rosa by submission plus 750. I think you can get it on Bet Online. That's my play here. But let's move on. Fight number 4. We're chugging along. Alexander Romanov going up against Jared Vanderaa. I can kick this one off. I actually have looked at this, I like Romanov round 2 plus 380. I know it's short, and everybody expects, Romanov is going to tear through this guy. Round 1, it's going to be over in round 1. So everybody's on that round 1, prop for Romanov. But Vanderaa is pretty tough. He absorbs a lot of punishment. He's never been finished in the first round. I think he's been finished in the second round twice. But he's a big dude. If Romanov gets this to the ground, Vanderaa is going to have a hard time getting up. That's for sure. Can he kind of control him in the first round and survive? It's to be seen. I'm not, that line is very short for round number 1 for Romanov. But round number 2 is plus 380. The other thing I will say for the people in chat is, based on what happens on that first round, and if Vanderaa gets out of that first round, look to see if you can possibly bet Vanderaa live, just because depending on how Romanov looks, is he tired? Does he look winded? We saw him versus Espino. Now, Espino's a better grappler, better wrestler, way better wrestler than Vanderaa is. But if he is to tire him out somehow, and he is tired by the second round, going into that second, I will look to play Vanderaa live. The other thing is Vanderaa round 3 is plus 3,400. If this fight gets to round 3, it's going to be very hairy for Romanov. I honestly believe that, because his cardio is a big question mark to me. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, I don't mean to be boring, but I got to go with Romanov in round 2 as well. Vanderaa, his last 2 losses have come by second round stoppage. It's just a matter of how much does Romanov want to play with his food, right? If he wants to go out there and be a little bit more aggressive, like he was against Lima, in terms of just like getting him down and then just like really hunting for the finish, he could do that in round 1. But that's obviously not the name of the show. Again, he had that second round stoppage against Roque Martinez where he was kind of throwing him around and then stopped him in the second round. So we have seen this play out, and historically, when you look at Romanov's record, it's a lot of first round stoppages, and I think that's why the odds partially are where they are. But I could easily see it happening in the second round, and like you said, I think that if he were to finish this fight, it most likely happens in rounds 1 or 2 because of the cardio factor. So there's nothing on the Vanderaa side that inspires a ton of confidence. I mean, I think that you said the live betting angle is interesting if we maybe see Romanov look a little winded. But for the sake of the show, I got to go with Romanov in round 2.
Awesome. Agreeing. That's great. Let's see what Tim has. Lupita round 3. Damn, 3,100. Wow, that might be something to look at, just because, like I said, late notice replacement. Like, what's her cardio like? And then she's coming. I believe she trains in Mexico. Juarez does. So she's coming from Mexico, late replacement. We don't know what her cardio is like. So 31-1. Wow, interesting. I might have to take a stab, Tim. Bruce, it is unacceptable that Dana's able to just kick out journalists and he gets nothing easy but softball questions. Situation needs to change. He needs to answer more hard-hitting questions. Okay. It's a little off topic, but, we'll take whatever you guys put in chat. It's fine. Super Sage with the muscle emoji. Romanov, money line, a lock. Juan Carlos Oliva, Meneses. I mean, I never want to say lock, honestly. Lock is not a word I use in MMA betting, because AJ knows, and I don't know if he agrees with me, but honestly, there's no such thing as a lock in MMA betting. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, there isn't. I mean, it's a term that I don't think people like. If they do mean like as if it can't lose, then yeah, that's a reach, a big one. But I think it's just tough to tell like exactly what he's implying. Like, I think, yeah, Romanov probably wins if that's what he's wondering. But he's not the better striker. Like, there's ways he could lose. Like you said, he could slow down. Maybe he takes Vanderaa down and he's unsuccessful at finishing him, and then Vanderaa just pours it on him late. Vanderea's got some reach on him. We saw him last fight land a bunch of volume against Tafa on the feet. Haven't really seen anything out of Romanov's game to suggest that he could really compete with Vanderaa on a minute-to-minute basis outside of just landing a big shot. So, no, I don't think he's a lock on either count, really, because if fight gets, for whatever reason, stuck on the feet, I think he'd look like the underdog, dare I say. So, but yeah, as we mentioned, it's not likely to take place in the feed because of the Spivak fight. So that's why he's a big favorite.
What I will say, just from my end, I wouldn't, if you're asking as far as a lock because you want to put him in a parlay, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't. I don't know if AJ would. I don't like throwing these, minus 700s, when I know, especially one very, very big thing is the guy has questionable cardio. I do not like to put someone that's minus 700 in a parlay that I know if this fight goes longer, I'm going to be fucking sweating like hell. Tim says Romanov KO Ryan. You know what? That's not a bad thing because, if you look at Vandeira, he just doesn't give up his back in these fights. He'd rather get pounded out. Go back and look at the Spivak fight. He just rather get pounded out than give up his back and let him. But then again, Romanov does a lot of those forearm chokes. He has a bunch of submissions like that. So Vandeira, for whatever he is, I guess he's a BJJ black belt. I have no fucking idea how. I don't see it honestly, but he says he is. Pillow Fist, Mark. Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. She was scheduled to fight this upcoming Tuesday. Correct. You're right. I'm sorry. See, that's why I love the chat. They can correct us. Sometimes they know better than us. Hey, I'll take it. I'll accept it. Yeah, she is. Actually, she might be in shape then. Yeah, she was scheduled to fight on the 10th. I did say that yesterday, and I forgot today all of a sudden. Juan Carlos, yeah, 90% Romanov win. 90% implied win, possible. Mushroom lock is a 4-letter word, so is a loss. It sure is. They're both 4-letter words that you can toss around. A loss is a little bit easier though. We can move on. Fight number 5. Interesting fight here. Chris Gutierrez going up against Felipe Colares. Go ahead, AJ. You can kick this one off.
Yeah, another one. I think there's a couple options. I'll honorably mention the other one, but the one I'll go with is Chris Gutierrez by TKO KO. Well, it also says DQ on DraftKings, but
yeah, that's right.
basically like a stoppage via strikes. Plus 350. I mean, I think that's interesting because Colares is really durable, but we've just seen him take so much damage. It just like, if we see the fight play out, it wouldn't be, I guess, a surprise if Gutierrez got close to finishing him because, after all, even though he survived against Sanders and Jackson, he still got almost stopped. So would it be, substitute in a different referee and you could be looking at a stoppage there, theoretically, of course. I do think that most likely Gutierrez wins a decision. However, that would be the way I would like to attack this fight. But then the other one, really quickly, would be Colares by submission at plus 700. Gutierrez does give up his back. He got his back taken 2 fights ago against Cody Dern, and he also was put in a submission attempt by Ewell. And Colares, scrappy guy. He's very submission over position, so if he gets this fight on the ground and he ends up in top position, he'll try for that sub. So a total dart throw, but something I just like to mention.
I actually don't think it's a dart throw. It's a nice play. I didn't think of it in that sense, just because I kind of favor, I think Gutierrez' takedown defense is really good. I know Darden got into the ground, but Darden's such a good wrestler. Colares is not a good wrestler. But for whatever Colares is, he tends to take every fight to the damn ground. I think he's got 2+ takedowns in every single fight in the UFC. So he somehow gets guys to the ground, whether it be he tires them out, it becomes sloppy, he gets them to the ground, but he does end up on the ground. So that is not an actual really bad bet. What I like a little more, and I actually have a bet on it, is Gutierrez round 3 plus 1,400. And the reason why I like this play is, so you go back and watch Gutierrez, he's really heavy with his kicks, right? He's got really, really heavy leg kicks. You saw him in his last fight versus Ewell. He literally chopped both of Ewell's legs off. Ewell was about to go. I had him a round 3 prop in that fight, and somehow Ewell survived. And I think I had a plus 2,100. I was so damn mad. But in this fight, the fact that, Gutierrez he switches stances a lot, but he's more comfortable when he's in an orthodox stance. And Colares is an orthodox stance. Colares is there to be hit. I think that lead leg, man, it's not going to take many kicks for him to chop off that leg. And I think with those kicks, the longer the fight goes, the more it wears on you, right? You go sit on a stool after some kicks. Now, your leg is killing you when you're standing up. So I think the more this fight goes, the greater the chance is for Gutierrez to stop this guy via, eventually just chopping that leg off and Colares basically not being able to stand anymore and the referee waving it off based off leg kicks. So I know it's not a prop that's going to hit very often, but I do like it in this spot based on, orthodox. Lead leg is there for him. I think he can hit it and chop it off of him, to be honest. And Kolaris is there to be hit. We know that. Guy takes a beating. I don't mind that you have the KO prop. I just think like Gutierrez's hands, he doesn't really throw power punches with his hands. He's more kick heavy. So that's why I went with this play instead at plus 1,400 round 3. Juan says, I had Romanov to win 1K already. I got him at plus 400. Now that's line value. So if you got him at 400, I don't mind it at all. But he's minus 700 now, which I do mind, Dern wins. We'll get there. Tim says Vandera around 3 KO. Yeah, I mentioned that. I have it at 34-1 on FanDuel, I believe it was. So I did mention that, like, if it gets to the third round, I think Romanov is going to be in trouble, honestly, just based off his cardio. I mean, you go back and look at Romanov. I don't even want to go back, but the guy's been round one, except for one fight, 2 fights, round 2 and 3. And to be honest, last fight, I don't know about you, AJ, but I think he lost that fight.
Yeah, I thought it was really close. Could have gone either way. Yeah, his cardio got totally exposed. So if he goes up against another Curtis Blades type, we can easily see him take a true first loss. Yeah.
There's my man, Uncle Weezy. Both up for you guys. Let's buy yachts and Lambos. Yeah, that's what the show is about. Yachts and Lambos. It's Lambos for now and then yachts later. But we'll move on. Fight number 6, Maria Agapova versus Sabina Mazo. Did you kick off last one or did I, AJ?
I did, so you could go.
Okay, let me go on this one then. So this one was another one that I kind of had a tough time like looking. What am I going to find on this one? Plus 300 or better. I'm going back and forth. Initially, I thought Mazo by KO, plus I think it was like 460. I was kind of thinking of that, but I kind of ended up on Mazo round 2 at plus 1,100. And my reasoning is basically the fact that, Agapova like went for it last fight. I know it might have been something that doesn't normally happen. And she really gassed out bad. And we saw Dobson stop her in the second. But Mazo puts on more of a pace than Dobson. Mazo throws a lot of damn strikes. This is the first time Agapova is going to be at a deficit, like as far as height and reach. Because I think Mazo's the taller girl. Mazo has the better reach, I believe, in this fight. And I just think, like, if she does the same thing, Agapova, and Mazo is very, very tough. I will say that. Like, she can take a lot of punishment. And if Agapova, that is to happen after round 1, and she goes for it, and she does happen to gas like her last fight, I truly believe Mazo's going to stop her in the second round, which is why I went with the plus 1,100. Now, the KO prop is not bad either, I think, at plus 460, because Agapova we don't know, like, just going back and looking at this, thing with Twitter and Instagram with her and drug use and all this other shit. Like, I don't know where her head is. I know she's been kicked out of multiple gyms. And so I really don't know what's going on with her. I can't side with someone like that. But then I also heard yesterday that, I looked over Mazo's Instagram and she's not at Kings anymore. I'm like, why is this girl not at Kings MMA? Well, apparently she got kicked out of Kings. So what the deal is there, I don't know. But that's the information I have. And I'll kick it off to you, AJ. What do you have for this women's fight here?
Yeah, interesting nuggets. Didn't know that at all. So it's pretty interesting. They're fighting each other and they both got kicked out of their camps recently. Don't think I've ever seen that happen in an upcoming fight. So that's very, very interesting. I actually would go with Mazo by submission at plus 900 here because just looking at how she chose to finish Justine Kish in her last finish in the UFC, she head kicked her and then she took her back, and then her preferred method was to get the RNC rather than just kind of like pounding her out. And in my notes, I have like Agapova, she's given up a lot of position on the ground. She was mounted by Dobson. She was mounted by Tracy Cortez, gave up her back to Tracy Cortez multiple times. And then, of course, the Dobson fight as well. So if I kind of like picture a finishing scenario in my head for this fight, I think it would probably just be Mazo choking her out. I could see the TKO KO, which is like plus 350 happening as well. But the submission just her finishing instincts were to just go to the choke against Keish. So unless something has changed between now and then, that would be how I think she would attack it should she get put in a dominant position. But I'm pretty sold on Mazo here. So if I want some action on her from a prop perspective, I would look at the submission.
I actually love it. I didn't even think of it. You make a very good point. If Dobson is mounting you, it's not a good sign. I know she was tired, but that's not a good sign. She gave up her back, you said, in that Tracy Cortez fight. Also not a good sign. Mazo's skilled down there. She's not like some like really bad grappler or anything. So you're right. And Agapova might actually go for takedowns because I think her striking, I know she throws hard and stuff, but it's very sloppy. I'm not really impressed with Agapova's striking at all. It's just like power, overwhelming people basically type of striking. I don't like it. I think Mazo's going to be able to touch her up. And if she does touch her up, maybe she makes her grapple, which in turn probably gives Mazo that chance to get that sub. So yeah, I actually might like your play more than mine now, to be honest.
It would only be fair. I mean, I switched over to what was the one fight we were talking about? The Ontiveros play. I switched over to the Garcia round 2. So I guess we're calling it even here.
Hey, we're gonna learn from each other. Come on. Colares points plus 420. I don't know. I can't. I don't favor Colares in the fight, so I can't. I don't see him. I could see him winning a decision, I guess, but he gets hit so damn often. Like the dude is just like horrible defensively, horrible. My Chicago brethren, we sure are. Mushroom Uncle Weezy, best statistician in MMA. He sure is. That's the stat guru right there. We can move on to the next fight here. Fight number 7 of the card. It's Tim Elliott. This is a very interesting fight, by the way. Tim Elliott going against Matthias Nicolau. We kind of discussed this a little. Shoot it off, AJ.
Yeah, we agreed beforehand. Nicolau plus 400 for the submission prop. I think it's very, very interesting considering when you look at Tim Elliott's career, he often puts himself in compromising positions on the ground. And Nicolau is a really good submission grappler, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Elliott has been put in, even in his win 2 fights ago against Ryan Benoit, he was put in a deep submission attempt. I believe it was a heel hook. And then he obviously got submitted by Brandon Royval, a fight prior, submitted by Davison Figueiredo. Elliott he's so aggressive offensively, but defensively he leaves so many openings. So if this fight goes to the ground, I think Nicolau is a legit threat to sub him. And I think at plus 400, that's just a little bit too wide. I think that there could be some value on that.
I want to mention, I don't know if you have access to FanDuel. I know we're in the same state, but FanDuel is plus 500. If you have access to it, you can get them at plus 500 by submission. It's an actual play for me, an actual tracked play. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get that sub versus Elliott. Elliott likes to grapple. Elliott is defensively kind of irresponsible when he's on the ground because he's so aggressive. So a guy like Nicolau that's very high level on the ground is going to have his opportunities to get a submission via an arm bar, a triangle. He might even, in the scrambles, he might even be able to get Elliott's back. Elliott's been subbed, I believe, 3 times before. He's been multiple times in deep positions, like you said, against Benoit. He was in a deep position. So, yeah, I mean, you're getting Nicolau here by submission that I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get that submission, and you're getting a plus 500 number. I really like that play. It's a play that is tracked for me, and it is a bet for me. And as far as who I think is going to win this fight, I think Nicolau should be able to win. I think he's the better striker. The grappling is close as far as regular grappling, but the submission grappling I like a lot better on the Nicolau side. I don't know if you have a play here or who you like, AJ. You can tell us, but if you choose not to, that's fine also.
Yeah, I think Nicolau is the rightful favorite. He's stylistically, it's a pretty bad fight for Elliott because Nicolau is the better striker. And like you said, he's a better submission grappler. But there are some ways that Elliott could test him. I mean, we don't know a ton about Nicolau's takedown defense. It says 100%, but really nobody shot a bunch of takedowns on him. And I'm also like questionable on his durability. I know that Elliott is a big puncher historically, but like neither is Dustin Ortiz, and he knocked him down with a blocked head kick. So theoretically, Elliott could just kind of test him in ways that maybe could expose him. And he was also rocked several times by Kopp last fight too. So I think Nikolau's a good prospect, but I feel like we don't know a whole lot about him. So we could see this fight play out, and then we just are like, geez, I mean, like he's got all these weaknesses, and we just didn't see him before. But going into it, I got to favor him.
Yeah, I mean, Elliott is going to grapple. I think he's going to grapple here. I think he's going to be able to land takedowns. I don't think like Nikolau's going to stuff every takedown or anything. I do in that Cape fight, like I think Cape hits actually really hard. I think the guy is a big 125 pounder. He hits hard. We saw in his last fight. Dude, I think he has a lot of power. Nicolau took some shots from him. I don't think this guy's anywhere near, Elliott's anywhere near what Cape can do, as far as power in his hands. So I think if Elliott's to win this fight, I think it's a grindy win, like a wrestling kind of getting takedowns, and just basically grinding a decision. Mazo sub round 2, 33-1. Man, Tim, you love these 33-1s and 44-1s. Tim is going for it, man. This guy's really going for that Lambo. You know what? Let me just say one thing before we move on to the next fight. I did mention in the Twitter that I am going to be doing a contest today for everybody in chat. At the end of our discussion and the last fight of the night, I will ask the chat to put out their favorite plus 300 or better play. And the guy that hits the longest one, may it be 33-1, multiple guys can hit, but it's the guy with the longest odds that hits is going to be the winner. I'll send them $50 via PayPal, whatever, Venmo, you name it. I'll send it to you. It's going to be obviously after the show. So, look for it Saturday night or whatever it may be, but I will write everybody's plays down. It's going to be at the end of the show, and, stay tuned. Everybody's in chat. You're going to get rewarded if you happen to pick the right prop. With that being said, I will move on to the next fight number 8. It's Randy Brown going up against Jared Gooden. Good thing I didn't say Gordon, because people always say Gordon. Go ahead and kick this off, AJ.
Yeah, the one that stands out to me the most is Gooden wins by knockout. At plus 400, I'm seeing here. He has power, and I'm not totally sold that Brown is the most durable guy. He's been knocked out in his past 2 losses by Nico Price and to Luque as well. And I also think a sneaky take, Gooden could do a lot of damage with like his leg kicks, so that in theory could help him win based on damage down the stretch. But yeah, Gooden by knockout plus 400. He's got the power. We've got a sample size of him knocking out a guy who was, at least durable on his record. And Stolze last time out, he knocked him out cold, and then he fought Joban, landed north of 100 significant strikes, couldn't really knock him out. So it's definitely a long shot, but that's the one that is the most glaring to me in this fight.
Man, we're thinking alike in this fight, because I actually have a play on Gooden by KO. I think I got him at plus 460. You can get him at I just looked, you can get him at plus 420 on FanDuel by KO. I just think, it's going to be there for him. I think it's going to be there for him. I think he's going to, get his opportunity to land the KO shot. And I think Gooden, he's a good counter puncher. The guy's pretty slick when he's throwing hands, and he's got a lot of power. And again, like you mentioned, AJ, the durability on the Brown side, like, it's a question mark. I know he's getting KO'd by guys like, that are huge punchers like Luque and, but the Nico Price from bottom KO is just kind of worrisome. Like, you shouldn't be out like that. The way he was out from the bottom, it's kind of concerning from a hammer fist. I'm not really sure of his durability. I know he took some shots in that Luque fight before going out, but still, Gooden is a huge puncher. Gooden has a chance to KO him. Gooden has actually good takedown defense. People were talking about Randy Brown and how he could take him down and probably submit him. But Gooden is not bad on the ground. Gooden's, I believe he's a brown belt in BJJ. He's got good takedown defense. You saw it against Abu Bakr in that fight. The guy was 1 for 5. The guy's much better wrestler than Randy Brown is. So if this stays standing for long periods of times, then he has an opportunity to KO Brown, which is why I like the plus 420, 460 line. So yeah, we're seeing eye to eye on that one. I like it. We'll go to the main event now. Last fight of the night. It's only a 9-fight card. Kind of a weak card if you ask me, but there's some interesting fights. Fight number 9, Marina Rodriguez going up against Mackenzie Dern. I will kick this one off. I have a bet over here on this. I have a bet that's opposite of what everybody thinks in this fight. I have a bet on Marina Rodriguez by decision, plus 500. The conventional wisdom here is like, oh, Rodriguez is, if this stays standing, Rodriguez is going to KO her. She's going to eventually touch her up and KO her. If it gets to the ground, Dern is going to slice her like butter and slice through her guard like butter and just get that sub, which the second part I kind of believe more than the first part, just because, Marina Rodriguez throws good punches. Yeah, there's, semi-hard. But, you go back and look at her career in the UFC, she's, if she's that big of a puncher, why does she only have, one knockout in 1, 2, 3, they're like 8 fights, right? She hasn't really had that many knockouts. But the one thing we saw from Mackenzie Dern and that we know is she's durable. She's tough. The girl's tough, so she's not going to give up. So yeah, I know if it's standing for long periods of times, Marina Rodriguez is going to have the opportunity to land a lot of big shots. But Dern is kind of improving her striking. She's not terrible on, I wouldn't say she's terrible now. She used to be terrible, but she's improving, right? And there might be a lot of clinching in this fight. There might be a lot of stuff like that where, I do think Rodriguez by decision plus 500 is not a bad line. I kind of believe like the line for KO for her is, at plus 390 or whatever, 3 something. I don't think that's good. Like, I don't think you should be playing that line because, again, I said, the girl has 1 KO in like 9 UFC fights. Dern is durable. She went tooth and nail with, Randa Marcos. She couldn't stop her. I know Marcos is durable too, but I just don't think, Dern is the girl that she's going to be able to stop. But I do think, she might be able to win a decision here if she's able to survive, the 1 or 2 times she's on the ground.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you, man. I mean, Rodriguez by decision is the one that sticks out to me the most. I think that's debatably the most likely outcome. I mean, she's a better striker than Dern. Dern's improving there, but I think that there's just a chance that Dern doesn't even get this fight to the ground. And in a striking-based fight, if I got to favor Marina, Dern is tough, like you said. She was knocked down by Ashley Yoder a couple of years ago, 3 years ago rather. But for the most part, she's shown a lot of toughness. So I would go with the plus 400 on Rodriguez. That would be my preferred option for the decision. That's where it sits right now, at least on DraftKings. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think we've agreed on about 3. It's 3 or 4. So
Maybe 4. Yeah, 4 of them. And then we had like those switcheroos too. So we've agreed on a good bunch of them, which is crazy to do like plus 300 props. And we're like agreeing all these props, which, hey, that's good. You're seeing what I'm seeing, right?
Yeah. And just like, I think what helps is just picturing the fighter win and then also thinking of how they would do it. And then like kind of like measuring that in terms of like the odds too. So like, because Gooden, for instance, I feel like most likely if he beats Brown, he's got to knock him out. And then same thing with Marina. If she beats Dern, I think it's probably by decision. Because as you mentioned, I think that's a valid point to bring up. She's dangerous, but I mean, she's only got 1 knockout since her appearance on the Contender Series. So I could see it, and the KO prop is north of plus 300, so that's worth a look, I guess. But yeah, I would rather go decision of the 2.
And the other thing to say is this is a women's at 115 pounders. Like, do we actually get a lot of knockouts in this division? We actually don't. And some people are saying it's 5 rounds. She's going to be able to touch her up and eventually stop her. I get it that it's 5 rounds. She's been 5 rounds. Dern hasn't. But again, like I said, Dern looks in shape. She's not, coming overweight anymore. She's taking it really serious. She's going to be in shape for this fight. I think she's going to be able to go 5 rounds, no problem. But I think it's going to be the fact that I'm going to be more worried about the Dern submission than Marina getting the KO, to be honest. And I think if she gets it to the ground, it's going to be hairy because we know Dern is probably the best girl on the ground in the UFC.
Definitely.
Tim says Dern subs her the first time she gets her down, round 1 or 2. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I don't doubt that whatsoever. But again, like AJ referred to, like Dern's wrestling, it sucks. I can just say straight out, it sucks. So how she get her to the ground? Yes, I know Marina's her defensively, as far as defending takedowns is not very good. But again, she's going against people that are much better, wrestlers, grapplers than Dern is. So I just still think, Marina plus 500 is value by decision. Marina by KO decision prop over 2.5. Let's fucking go. I like it. All right. Well, we're getting to the end of the show. We're also going to give you guys one Lambo parlay from each of us. I can kick off my Lambo parlay first. It's Nicolau sub, Garcia round 2 KO, and Rodriguez decision. The 3 of those pay you plus 21,500. So plus 215 to 1. So go ahead, AJ. What do you got?
Yeah, interestingly enough, we agree on 2 of them. Nicolau by submission, Gooden by knockout, and then Rodriguez by decision.
Awesome. What does that pay? Offhand?
No, I don't.
What is it? Wait. You got Gooden by knockout? Yeah, that's Gooden by knockout is 400. So yeah, it's probably in the range of probably like 180, 190 to 1 or something like that. So it's still like a huge number. But yeah, that's basically the wrap for the show. This card wasn't a big card. It's a 9-fight card. It was honestly hard to find like really, really good props that I liked, like long shot ones. But I can go over my favorite ones. I do like the Garcia round 2. I do like Gutierrez round 3 plus 1,400, and Nicolau. The Nicolau sub plus 500, Rodriguez decision plus 500 are probably my favorites. If you want to shout out your favorites, you more than welcome to.
Yeah. I'm sorry, favorite like
your props. Favorite like props that you gave out. Yeah, which one would be your favorite? Or a couple.
I'd probably say the Nicolau by submission at plus 400. I think that's like a solid option.
All right. I like it. We're on that one. I don't know if it's a track bet for you, but it's a track bet for me. I think he's gonna have his opportunity. But I'm gonna tell the chat now. Go ahead and post post your plays. What's your favorite play? It's got to be plus 300 or better. The person that has the winning play with the longest odds is going to get the $50. So go ahead and post it in chat. I think there's 11 of you right now. Yeah, there's 11 of you in chat. Thank you for everybody being here. Please like, subscribe, share, do whatever you have to do. And while you guys do that, I'm going to give the floor to AJ. Let him tell you where you can find him, what he has going. Guy's a great dude, great capper. Go ahead, AJ. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it was awesome to be on here with you. Always good to talk fights. Be found on Twitter at AJMMABetting. Website AJMMABetting.com. I have multiple plays up for this event. All the breakdowns are finalized, podcasts, written breakdowns, percentages. Also got some future plays up there as well. So contribute to Daily Fan MMA. If you ever have any questions, just feel free to DM me. That's probably the best way to do so.
It's a pleasure having you, bro. It's a pleasure having you. Look forward to more of these. We're gonna have I'm going to keep track of these. I'm going to see how we do. Maybe we get, hit 3 or 4 of them, which will be great, So, yeah, I mean, if you want to cut out, if you want to get out of here, you have something to do, you're more than welcome to do while I look at this chat and give everybody the opportunity to put their plays in. Philip says, Ontiveros round 1 KO TKO plus 1,500. Wow. I don't mind that, actually. I think if he gets that KO TKO, it's probably round 1.
Wow.
Plus 1,500. That is actually a good one. See, that's why I like the chat putting this up. Because I think that's if he gets it, that's when it's going to be. Tim has what is Tim saying here? Nicolau round 1 sub. Okay. But what is it? You want me to look it up for you, Tim? Damn you. And then I gotta pay you. All right, let's see here. What is it? Nicolau sub round 1. By the way, I'm gonna be using whatever you guys put. So put that number. I'm just gonna make sure the number's right. Like with Ontiveros, I don't want to have this like number being put up and it's not really there. So Ontiveros KO round 1. Yeah, it's plus 1,500 on FanDuel. I'm looking at it. Let's see this sub prop for Nicolau. We have
seen 1,300 plus 1,300.
Yeah, I see it. Yep. Nicolau sub round 1 plus 1,300. It's in. What else do we have? Oh, Tim says 13-1. Anybody else? No one wants to put in no plays. No one wants free $50. There's 8 of you now, and I'll wait for a little more. I'll give you guys like 5 more minutes. Think of your plays. What else, AJ? Anything else brewing for you?
Well, could they maybe like after
send it to me on Twitter? Yeah, definitely if they want to do it. But the thing is, I didn't want to reward people that were not here, right? I wanted to reward the people that were here. Is there any way they can send it? Yeah, actually, you know what? Let me see. Is there a way of seeing who my live viewers are? I don't think so. Unless you know of a way to see who your live viewers are in chat. I don't think so.
I remember but
yeah. And that's the reason why I wanted to do them in chat, because I didn't want to like put it on Twitter and then you have like 500 people that weren't in the show sending me plays,
Or like they could just comment on the YouTube video, like that way to ensure that they like saw it,
Okay,
yeah.
That's fine. I agree. For whoever's the problem is now for the people, you know what? I'm gonna reward the people that watch the video too. You're right. You know what? Go ahead and put your plays in the comments. I'm gonna look at them. It has to be before the start of the card. So go ahead and put your plays in the comments on the YouTube video. I'll go over it before the fight. I'll put it all down. I'll make sure that your play, because there's I'll make sure that the number's accurate. And then, yeah, whoever wins it gets $50 from me via PayPal or whatever it may be, whatever you want to use. But yeah, that's about it, AJ. Thanks for joining me. It was a 53-minute show, which is good. I don't like going too long. Some of these go forever. This one's pretty good. 53 minutes is good. You can have the rest of your Friday, whatever you're going to do. But yeah, man, thanks for joining me again. We'll probably be back next week. If you can join me again, it's episode 2 next week. We might get, I know somebody sent me a message. They want to join us. I told them maybe not the first one, but maybe the second one. So next week, we might have the GOAT in here. Tajik Bey, because he wanted to be on the show, and I like the dude. He's awesome. Thanks, Tim, man. You're the best, bro. This guy's always great guy. Always, in my DMs, we always talk. Really nice guy. Yeah, but that's about it, guys. Thanks for joining me. I will have a show on Monday, Dana White's Contender Series. It's episode number 5 or 6 for me. I've been crushing Dana White's Contender Series this year. I won 8.3 units last week. Absolutely demolished that card. I like the lower levels. I think there's a lot more value. You get in early on these lines and you're just destroying these lines. I mean, they're moving 300, 400, 500 points sometimes. So yeah. Have a good night, AJ. Thanks again, bro. I'll see you next week. Thank you to everybody in chat. Take care, boys.
Peace out. Good luck.
All right, same to you.